Welcome back to the channel. And look how fat that bass is. Oh my God. Flipping an 1.25 ounces with a Gambler Stinger. My microphone died, so sorry about the audio. That's a chunk. I mean, 5 like that. So if you watched any of the National Professional Fishing League, they just had a tournament on Douglas, and it was dominated by guys fishing shallow. Now, once you get to the end of May, you typically see a lot more offshore deep fishing start to play, but every once in a while, you will notice that the shallow bite will dominate. And I've had some success this time of year fishing away from home on lakes where you think that you should be fishing down by the dam, offshore fishing, all those fish that are heading out deep. And what tends to happen, not always, but every once in a while in the post spawn, is fish, they want to get deep, but there's a lot of rain and you'll have flooded lakes. So they want to be deep, but they'll just get on the deepest bushes. And when that happens, typically this is going to be up the river. So down lake is not going to usually be doing this. It's going to be more so up the river. And why this happens is because you have a ton of cover. When fish in the post spawn up rivers, they're usually going to go out to the main river. They're not catchable anymore. And when you go up there and check this, it's usually pretty obvious. You're usually getting bit pretty quickly. Now, if you go up, let's say a mile or two up the river and you're not getting bit, go up another mile, you're not getting bit, go up another mile. Keep trying that in different sections of the river, because what does happen, it's not just fry garters, it's not just bluegill spawn, bass eating, around there. It's also going to be fish that are summering in that cover because it has enough water on it. So I think what a lot of people think is they get out on structure when they're up in the river, it's either on or it's not going on, but most of the time in the summer months, they're leaving all those places that they used in the springtime. But I've seen this go down where it was for sure the best fishing on the lake was up the river, everything was flooded, and those fish found, seeked out refuge in that deeper cover. They wanted to be deep, but there was enough water in all that stuff so they could go and get in it. And typically guys want to just go and crank, go through a swim bait, drag a jig around down the lake this time of year. And that's something that I've done real well on. So whenever I do that, it's typically always a Texas rig with some type of creature bait on it. You need something that's going to get through all that junk. A jig just doesn't fall really good when you have that much cover in the water. So for me, always a Texas rig. And when you're fishing that deeper stuff, I never go lighter than a 1/2 ounce. So your 5/8, your 3/4 ounce weights, that's when they're really going to play. And I like to use braid. Anytime I'm above a 1/2 ounce weight, it's braided line for me. Straight shank flipping hook, braided line. You can even go up to a little heavier straight shank flipping hook, but 50-pound braid, Texas rig. You're going to have a lot of color in the water, so those fish aren't really going to be too line shy, and just go flipping. It's a really good time to learn how to flip if you're not a confident shallow water person, and it is just a really fun time pulling fish out of heavy cover. I don't know if there's a better way. So try that, guys. If you have a lot of rain and your lakes are flooded, a Texas rig flipping, because I'll say this, most of the time, outside of maybe the state of Florida, most of the time, you want to go and try to catch fish any other way. Spinner baiting, top water, dragging something like a jig or a worm, Texas rig, Carolina rig, cranking, anything else other than flipping. You want to try to seek out that bite, and then when you realize that none of that stuff is working, then you go flipping. When you have a ton of rain and you have a ton of cover in the water, it's a lot like Florida. Endless cover, none of it really makes sense. You just got to put the trolling motor down and make as many pitches as you can in a day. It's the opposite. You want to seek out a flipping bite before you go and try anything else. And typically, when you start getting bit flipping, that vertical presentation is going to catch numbers and big fish, and that's really all you need to be doing. Lock that in your hand. Try that, guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.